Hey guys, how you doing? I am Yalik and I apologize. I did a War Factory video this morning, edited it all up, added music and all that stuff, and then I went to check on it to see whether it had uploaded, and the music somehow got turned way back up. I had set it to the lowest level as I usually do, and it was loud enough that you couldn't hear my voice, so I had to delete that. It just wasn't acceptable. So we're gonna have to do this again. So, and unfortunately now, like, we're just gonna be watching a replay, not actually going to see things as it happens, and unfortunately I don't have much time. So this is gonna be a very quick War Factory video. Luckily, yeah, there we go. So luckily it was a very easy War Factory layout today, and I used warriors, which means it was a, well, no, that doesn't mean it was a War Factory that didn't have shields, because the last time I did this, it was a War Factory that had shields, but the shields were pretty easy to get down with warriors. In this case, this is perfect for warrior. This is a War Factory layout that is pretty familiar. We've had it a few weeks ago, I think. Generally, there are hotpots over here, but the last couple of times we've had this layout, it's just sniper towers, and there's no shield on the core. Health on the core, if I recall, was about 540k. So, thought a second about this strategy before using it, because that is pretty steep for warriors to be doing. But on the bright side, A, for one, we do have cheap shocks because of the tribes right now, and B, there really aren't much, there aren't many things that need to be shocked here. Gonna shock the lasers, and it's possible that's unnecessary because the lasers might have locked onto bullet, but I just wanted to be on the safe side there, and gonna shock primarily this Doom cannon, but I'm also going to try to shock the flamethrowers around it, because I'm then going to throw critters into that area so that the grapplers don't end up taking bullet. Also, those critters will absorb some fire from the rocket launchers over there. Obviously going to have to clear those mines, because, I mean, I hope you do realize the obvious way to approach, you wouldn't run from all the way over here to all the way over there. That's a long way. So you're going to take the shortest path possible, because we no longer have cheap smokes. Rest in peace, the greatest tribes ever. The last couple of weeks I was way too spoiled. I did everything with warriors. Very fun. I do love my warriors, if you know me, hence why we're doing this. But now I'm back to the daily grind and using RZCM and stuff like that again, and it's honestly a little depressing. But anyway, we move on, and we were given the opportunity to use warriors here, so there are worse things in the world, I guess. It makes up for it a little bit. So yeah, the plan is to come at the base from this side. Obviously, those things are all going to need to go, and I think we're going to clear those as well, just because I didn't want multiple mines. Probably one set of those would be fine. I'm not sure if I'd one or both. Bit of a mistake early on. So I had planned initially to, hang on, let me change the color on this, something that's going to stand, we'll just go with black, that's fine. So I had initially planned, you're going to land over in this corner, and the troops are going to, like, flare over to about here. And I had originally planned to flare to this sniper tower right here, which would have made for a perfectly straight running line. And an interesting thing happens. I did not flare to that. Instead, I don't really know why, but I flared to this crate and then flared up to here. And an interesting thing happened. I had expected my warriors, as a general rule of thumb with warriors, what I go with is that they want to run in a straight line for as long as possible. So usually that means that they get their, if there's any curvature to their route, normally, based on my assumptions, that means I don't have time to do another one. So whatever, we're just gonna have to deal with that. I'm also not picking it up because I don't care. But normally I would assume that again, the Warriors are going to try to run in a straight line for as long as possible, and that would mean that their route from this crate to my way of thinking should go like this. And in this case, they do not. They actually surprised me a little bit, and I'm not quite sure why this happened, but usually the rule of thumb is pretty safe to follow. Instead, I think they end up taking a route that is something more like this. So they run straight for a little bit and then curve and then go back to straight. That is not normally how Warriors operate, so I'm not quite sure what was going on there. Other than that, pretty straightforward hit. So let's just watch what happened. Of course, this is unboosted, never doing War Factory boosted, because that's cheating. Dirty cheating. Unboosted, so I started with, oh yeah, there was that random, I tapped the screen over there and dropped a random smoke. That was cool. A lot of fun, just wasting GBE for no reason. Didn't 100% need to smoke the beach here, but I just didn't want to be losing things to grapplers and stuff like that. So, starting with my normal 541 statue layout GBE, I think I had 110. So you can see there, I had anticipated with my smokes, I was anticipating this path, and so now they are outside of smoke, which that always is frustrating. But yeah, the path that they're taking is, instead of the one I anticipated, is this, and that's not normally how they work. So that's a little weird. Generally, I'm pretty good at predicting where they're going to be going, but in this case, instincts failed me. So, and to the core. Now, I had hoped with the cheap shocks to be able to get off 2 rounds of shocks here if needed because of the health of the core. So you see that we've got the critters out as described, and shock back there and a shock over there, shocking the flamethrowers to keep the critters alive longer, ideally, because there's grapplers and stuff all over the place. And surprisingly to me, didn't quite nail my shocks on the flamethrowers there. Warriors are doing good damage, but I had no GBE for anything else here at this point. Not for another taunt, no more critters, nothing. So yeah, it was great having the cheap smokes and the extra GBE while that lasted, but now we're back to reality. So that was probably a bit of a risky play. Like I said, with that amount of health, that was a pretty daunting base for the Warriors to take down. Definitely advise Zukas or Heavy Zuka here would probably be a pretty decent play, but you know, I just wanted to do something different. So now, speaking of something different, I know one boom tuber out there did an all heavy rush. I don't know how it went because I didn't watch the video. I just saw the title, but that's because of the boosted heavy tribe. Well, if you have it boosted, I do not. I don't really see much point, but this person had heavy damage boosted up, and so they were doing an all heavy War Factory. Somebody else did RCZM. Zedmont does his usual thing, using Everspark to clean things up, and then Zuka to make things easier so the War Factory becomes more accessible to people. I just wanted to do something fun and something different. Don't advise it for everybody, but it worked today for me. So anyway, that's the video. Sorry about the phone call. Sorry this is late because of whatever happened with the video this morning, and now I need to hop in the shower because I came from the gym and I'm smelly. I will catch you later.